Salute world. We tapping in, man. We tapping in live. I'm actually in base 3, all right, in Los Angeles, Fullerton, California. And yeah, I got an opportunity to tap in. I'm out here for a business trip. I am Paradise. But we'll be getting started shortly for the Master's Table. It's an honor, of course, as always, to be here and to tap in with you, all right? So we'll get started shortly. We'll light some incense. And yeah, we're going to keep the move going. All praises. Sheesh. All right. See if I get a better background here. All right, all right. Let's go ahead and tap in, man. And once again, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you. I go by the name Master Mycellf. This is the Master's Table. This is our personal co-creation, all right, within IMC Nation. It's our inner circle, inner mastermind, if you will. However, this is live and streaming to IMC TV, all right? So it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you and to have another opportunity to speak with you after another cycle of growth and evolution and so on and so forth. You know, like I said, I go by the name Master Mycellf in case you don't know who I am, also known as JD, Jordan Amari. And, you know, I have the pleasure and an honor, right, to really tap in with you today. And, you know, today I want to speak specifically on, you know, awakening your healing power, right, or healing yourself, right? And what are the steps that you take to begin to heal yourself, right, step by step, you know, based on the relationships that you are, you know, continuously harnessing, based on the way that you're learning to correlate and relate to the world, the exterior world in which you interact with on a daily basis, all right? So once again, I'm coming to you live from Fullerton, California, Los Angeles. We have 5 bases that are worldwide within IMC Nation. I'm the leader of base 5, which is in Phoenix, Arizona. However, right here, right now, I'm in base 3. And man, what an honor it is. So salute to the Cervantes brothers and all of IMC Nation, all of my brothers that are tapped in, the Crusades, the, you know, tribal leaders, the captains, you know, the base leaders and all of that, you know what I'm saying, on the in-between. I'm gonna have to migrate here because I do not have an extension cord and the plug is all the way over there. So at some point I'll be, you know, shifting probably when I get to 5% here so that, you know, the iPad doesn't die on me or anything like that. All right, so let's go ahead and tap in, man. Let's get started. You know, per usual, every single Monday, I stream these live sessions, right? At some point, I'm going to shift from doing these Monday sessions to another session. It'll be another day and that'll be announced at another time, all right? But essentially, you know, I want to talk about awakening your inner power, right? Last cycle, right? The last episode, if you will, episode 6, we were talking about hacking the matrix, right? And what it takes to really hack the matrix, right? So hacking the matrix at first, it starts with understanding that you are hacking your own mind, your own inner mind, because as within, we understand the principles of correspondence or the universal laws, I mean, right? But I'm referring directly to the principle of correspondence, which is as within, so without, as above, so below, right? And so that's important to know and understand in the development of your lifestyle, right? Or your evolution as a conscious being, as a spiritual being on this planet, right? Because in case you haven't picked up yet, right? All of IMC Nation is a spiritual channel, right? Or all of my inclination is a spirit. We are spiritual teachers, right? We're living a life of spirituality. It's not just a one time, this one moment, this one retreat, this one weekend, if you will, that we are having this spiritual experience. No, we're aware, we are conscious, we are awakened, right, to the truth, to the essence of our character, which is available, right, for you to tap into the moment that you choose, right, today, to take responsibility and utilize your mind and to activate the spirit on a consistent basis through the practices, the rituals, the philosophies, right, that you are constantly tapping into on a regular basis, right? So whoever it is that you are and whatever it is that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, I encourage you, you got to first take the responsibility, right, to recognize that, I have my own spirit and I'm responsible for my spirit, right? Now, as the spirit goes through life and we experience different experiences and, you're having new trials and tribulations and, you're just having different challenges and obstacles that are coming in your path. Well, that's validation that you're on the right path, right? Because it's not meant for you to easily, right, process or go through whatever experiences is you're here to have, as a unique being on this planet. There's specific experiences that you can have, that you are having, that nobody else can attest to, right? And so, when we talk about awakening, right, your inner healing or your healing power or healing yourself, the reason why we talk about that is because you're going through experiences in life that will rupture, right, your development, or will shake you to see if you are who you say you are, right? And they shake the foundation and shake the stability in which you were living on, right, for so long at some point in time, right? So, oftentimes we go through these processes. You sort of, once again, this may show up as a challenge. This may show up as a obstacle. This may show up as a, one of the hardest things or the hardest challenges that you will ever experience in life. However, your persistence to go through those, right, oftentimes allows you to go through and grow through that experience, right? Now, in the process of growing, oftentimes you come out damaged, you come out messed up, right? You have some kind of experience that, it's hard for you to pinpoint, right, your truth, right? It's hard for you to pinpoint what it is that you learned from, right, these experiences, right, or what it is that you have grown through, right? It's oftentimes hard to pinpoint exactly what it is that was damaging you, right, to the level that it was damaging you, to the point where you had to heal yourself, right, or you had to grow through that experience, right? And so, for me, every single day I live on a daily process, right? So every single day I have some kind of process, some kind of routine, right? Every single day. Now, the last 4 days I've been here in Los Angeles, and while being here, I've had an opportunity to go live a couple of times, right? But I've had a lot of opportunity to create, right? We were spending a lot of time, me and Master Pyro, we're here for the Los Angeles Model Retreat, right? And essentially what that is a whole, experience. It happens for 2 to 3 days normally. This time it was 3 days around. And we were here locally in the city, and we're just creating with models, photographers, videographers, directors, artists of all sorts, musicians of sorts, right? Literally, different levels of genius, right? That form their own world of expertise wherever they come from, right? And then we start to harness and build this energy, right, together, right? And we collectively co-create, we collectively integrate, right, the things in which we have been learning for so long, and we put this into practice, right, on a day-to-day basis, right? So the reason why I'm even saying any of that is just so that you are aware of the fact that, it doesn't matter what it is that you're going through. When you have a process, when you have a ritual, when you have a practice that you tap into every single day, that serves as the foundation, right, for all your own healing that you need to acquire, right? So a process of healing every single day is available to you, right? So if you've been damaged in your past, if you've been, through this trials and tribulations where you didn't know if you was gonna make it through, or you went through such a traumatic experience. I know a lot of women, right? And so, many of the women end up sharing, very personal, intimate stories with me, right? So, if you've gone through some traumatic experience, right, in your life, you're meant to take that experience and learn how to alchemize that energy. Now, part of that is your own healing process, right? So once again, you start with a routine, a practice, a ritual that you have every single day. Now, what this does is allows you to create a space in your world, right? And in this space is where you do your work, right? So you're awakening your healing power in this space, right? This gap of time that you block out every single day. Now, it can be in the morning, it can be at night, it can be in the middle of the day, it can be whenever it is that you set, right? But essentially, you want to block out a certain amount of time, right, to begin to tap into that healing power. Now, once again, you block out the time, and that's the first step, right? And then you show up every single day at that time so that you can begin to nurture yourself in this process, right? Now, the process, which I'm talking about, awakening your inner healing or your inner healing power, healing yourself. This is found, the seeds are found, right, from a moment to moment basis, right? So in this moment, you have an opportunity to start to heal yourself by first shifting the perspective of what you have that happened to you on the outside, right? So oftentimes the reason why we may need healing is because we've been hurt. So whatever aspect it is, if you can look at your life from your perspective and see, man, I've been hurt here, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, so on and so forth. Whatever areas it is that you're experiencing that pain, you want to take that pain and learn how to alchemize that, right? And then eventually, as you alchemize that pain, what does that mean? What does that alchemize? To change, to transmute, to mend and mold, right? So if something negative, quote unquote, happens on the outside, right? So like I think back to my younger days. I think I was like 13 years old. I was in junior high school, right? And I was wanting to play, I was on the basketball team. I finally made it to the basketball team. We were playing, going for the championship. I think it was the playoffs, right? So yeah, we had playoffs and whatnot. And basically, I ended up stepping. I was playing outside of my front driveway, right? And like I said, I was like 12, 13 years old. I remember stepping on a nail, right? When I stepped on the nail, I didn't realize, right, what I had done, right? I had no idea what pain I was getting ready to experience, right? But it was a pain that was necessary for me to truly understand the value of, healing, if you will, right? But essentially, right. So at that point, I stepped on a nail, and I remember being, just freaked out, man. Like I just was in all kinds of pain. Couldn't figure out what the hell. I couldn't pull out the nail because it was just so painful, right? And, I had a world of experience that night. However, moving forward, I got the nail removed from my foot. I was able to put my shoes on. I was able to walk and move on it after a couple of days and so on and so forth, right? But I remember the first night just being propped up and having my foot raised and whatnot and elevated and, taking pain medication and whatnot. My mom coming to check on my dad, coming to check on my godmother, coming to check on me, right? All of this was an experience, right, that was teaching me the value of healing, right? The value of taking my time and nurturing my own consciousness, nurturing my own body, nurturing my own mind, right? This was a very, very early on process that I learned the value of way later on. But I was extremely frustrated at the time, right? I didn't want to sit down and go through this healing process. I didn't want to not play any games because I wasn't clear about a trainer or anything like that. I wasn't satisfied with that. I was really, really frustrated at the fact. And then we ended up losing the championship that year and all of that, you know what I'm saying? So that was my experience, right? But that experience, now looking back on it, I can say that experience taught me so much. And what it taught me was the value of taking my time, right, to heal myself, taking the time to tap into that presence or awareness, right, that is available for you to tap into. Now, this wasn't something that was apparent to me back then, but I'm telling you, with my level of insight or awareness on my life right here, right now, I can tell you that based on my experience back then, I learned a process of healing, right? And you want to consciously heal yourself on a day-to-day basis. Once again, starting with your routine, your practices, your disciplines, your purpose every single day. When you are creating that space, right, that we talked about. So, right, so you wake up in the morning, right, and then you are living your experience. You want to create a window in time where you can tap into whatever anger, whatever negative energy it is that you may be experiencing on the outside. Once again, let's say there's some kind of external, let's say that, one of your family members is extremely mad at you for some reason. Whatever that reason may be, it doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, what you want to know how to do is how to take that energy, put it into your world, and internally utilize that energy and start to flip it right on its opposite. Now, this is a very high level process of alchemy and whatnot, so I'm not going to go into details about what it is I'm talking about. However, I can tell you that once you learn that process, you are actually learning your, man, I feel like us as human beings on this planet, we have true superpowers that we have yet to tap into, right? And one of those superpowers is our ability to heal ourselves. Now, as I'm saying this right now, I'm realizing that like maybe y'all don't understand one of the many ways to heal yourself is to cleanse or detox your body, right, from intaking any kind of foods, right? So a lot of people refer to that as fasting, but I will refer to it from now on as self-healing, right? I'm going through a self-healing process, right? So I'm not fasting necessarily. Fasting is, yes, fasting it is what it is, but fasting can be interpreted in so many different ways, right? Essentially, every single time that I go through that process, I've been practicing fasting one time every single week, or cycle, like I like to call them, for the last, I want to say 2.5 months, maybe 3 months now, right? And so with that practice, every single time I go through it, I realize my power. Once again, I'm recognizing my power. I'm able, right, to heal myself. I'm able to shift from living in this one world of experience, right? Constantly ingesting, constantly intaking, right? These foods and things of that nature, right? Or these things that I'm told that I need to, intake into my body so I can heal myself, or I can nutrient, or I don't know what the word is, nutrize. I don't know what that word would be, but so I can feed my body nutrients, right? and so it's one ideal, that's one concept, that's one perspective, right? But then you can take on the perspective and understand that, I have the ability to every single day. That's what I do every single day. I have not yet eaten today, right? So from the time that I go to sleep, I think I went to sleep around midnight last night or so, right? So from midnight until, what time is it now? Okay, 12:19, right? That's a full 12 hours at this point in time that I have not eaten. Now, maybe you've eaten, whoever's watching, right? Or maybe you haven't, right? Regardless, to consciously do this on a consistent basis, once again, it's teaching you how to heal your body, right? At any point in time, if I'm, it was like 2 cycles ago, I think I was feeling extremely sick, right? And it was hard for me, yeah, because I came onto IMT and I was talking about, I was talking through that, right? That experience. It's amazing to me, how much control we actually do have over our own bodies, how much control we actually do have over our own minds, how much control we actually do have over our spirit. You see, your mind, your body, and your spirit, those are all your responsibilities, once again, right? These are your responsibilities. And so you have a responsibility to utilize these gifts, if you will, right? Otherwise, they start to deteriorate. Otherwise, they start to get out of control. They start to run on their own, if you will, right? And they there's a system, there's a, force of life, right, that is behind the evolution of life, and there's a force of life that is behind the destruction of life, because what's not being created and utilized on a consistent basis is, by pure definition of physics, right, it's deteriorating. Uh-oh. Yeah, I gotta plug in. Right? There, if you're not creating, you may be deteriorating in your experience, right? So let me shift positions here. Let me go ahead and plug in. While we're on right now, we got some brothers that are live. Is there any feedback or questions or anything like that before I continue?
Yeah, I got feedback. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those brothers who haven't eaten since I slept, and I could definitely see the clarity in my mind.
Right.
And because this weekend, I ain't gonna lie, I was eating a lot of beef. And I was just like, nah, I saw the difference in how the way that the morning process was going. It was a sluggish, it wasn't as, but I mean, of like the weekend, but today doing it and not eating as much, even till now, yeah, I do feel a sense of more sharpness. And I like how the way you switch the words up from fasting Because when I hear fasting, I hear famine. You know what I'm saying? Like in that term. But when you said healing,
Yeah.
that really is encouraging to say that. Those words are encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, that is, thank you for sharing your insights. That's huge, man. There's, recognizing that you have the ability at every single moment in time to constantly reframe what it is that you're experiencing, first of all, but then second, to look at life and see, like, man, how am I healing life, right? How am I taking responsibility today versus, my experience of yesterday's, experience, right? So how am I taking responsibility with, the way that I'm living on a day-to-day basis? Well, I'll start with daily healing, right? I am daily, every single day, I'm resetting my body, right? I'm now saying, at this point in time, I'm not going to eat up and until this moment, right? Or I'm going to delay the satisfaction. I was going to say satisfaction. I'm denying myself the satisfaction of eating right now, so that I can continue this process of discipline, right, of my mind, my body, and my spirit, right? And so that's a different level of responsibility once again, and that's not it's not the light subject, right? It's not something that many people really tap into or are aware of, right? But it's like I intend to live my philosophies. I intend to live the things in which I'm speaking on, right? So I don't speak on anything that I'm not living, right, on a consistent basis, right? And anything that I'm speaking on that I'm maybe not living from is me, speaking from the sense of being a student, right? Looking to master, or looking to acquire some sense of insight through the experience of applying this knowledge in which I'm coming to awareness of, right? So that's the consistent creation is that. You get what I'm saying? Every single time that I get on here, I'm creating again, and I'm saying, you know what? I don't know. I know one thing, and the one thing that I know is that I don't know anything at all, right? That's my favorite quote by Socrates, and I'll continue to quote that because it's very powerful to understand that you at whatever it is that you think you know is subject to change, right? It's subject to evolve. You what you think you know is only what you know until you no longer know that, right? And then you step into a new reality, right? You're now aware of something different. So let me plug this in real quick. Make sure it's charging. Cool. Thank you for the feedback once again, Brother Zay. Brother TK, if you had anything, if not, we'll go ahead and continue on. Cool. Excellent. So let's get some fresh air in here a little bit. So, we have an opportunity once again today to look at life differently and to now perceive, what our experience is on a physical level, but also a spiritual level, right? So spiritually, I mean, once again, like I was saying at the beginning, the traumas that you've experienced in your past, you're meant to alchemize those, right? That means to take those from the outside, allow them to transmute and turn within you, right? So that maybe that negative energy or the negative experience that you experienced on the outside, when it was happening on the outside, it was one thing. But when it became negative was when it became inside. And when you consciously recognized, this energy or this thing happened to me, right? That was the translation that happens in our minds. That only happens because of the result of our paradigms, right? Our paradigms are a set of beliefs. I gave the whole breakdown last cycle. So if you don't know nothing about paradigms, man, you got some homework to do. So, your paradigm is the one that's being challenged at that point in time, right? So it's like you can choose to experience that experience as a negative experience, right? So for example, let's just take a very, very extreme case. I've never been, in this position. However, I know people that have been in this position, right? So if you are a woman, if you will, right? Or I mean, I guess a man could experience it too, right? But for like rape or molestation, that is an activity that's happening on the outside that, once again, from the outside, it's easy to say this, right? So I can't speak from the inside necessarily. However, I can say that, that the activity of rape and molestation is an activity that's happening from the outside. And it's an action that was taken from the outside. And it maybe have done with malice, maybe have done with evil, anger, hate, all of that, those negative experiences, right? Regardless, whatever that is, that's an experience that is negative, that is not negative and it's not positive. It by itself is an experience. It's not a one or the other, right? And so understanding that every experience that we have, no matter what our previous perception is from the inside, because it's just a perception, it's all in the state of mind, right? That's the very first universal law. All is mind. Mind is all. Everything happens in the mind, right? So therefore, our first interpretation of what that negative experience is from the inside, right, can be a negative interpretation. And that's great. Let's say that, okay, it was a negative thing, it happened and so on and so forth. Don't let it stay there. That's the whole point. That's how you heal yourself. You interpret, okay, let's say that, okay, so you know somebody that got cancer. Maybe you had cancer before. When you got cancer, that was the word cancer, right? The cancer has, for me, it has several meanings, of course. Cancer, I don't know if I know anybody that died from cancer in particular. But anyways, a lot of people think about death when it comes to cancer. For me, cancer also means the zodiac sign, right? So it has another interpretation for me. However, the moment that you hear the word cancer, right, it has a negative connotation to it, because it's like, oh man, you got cancer. What does that mean? Most of the time, cancer equals death for a lot of people, right? The reason why that is because they have not yet reframed or looked at that word or utilized that word differently or alchemized that experience, right? So somebody tells you have cancer, and before you were told that you had cancer, you weren't living as if you did not have cancer. Then the moment that you have cancer or that you've been diagnosed as having cancer, you're going to live a different experience based on the words in which somebody used to tell you that, this your experience, right? So regardless, once again, it can come in and you can translate that as completely negative. It starts negative. This is so powerful. I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing this right now. This is so powerful. This is because if you get this will change your experience in this life. If you really get it, if you understand your power is in your ability to change and the perception, right, of what this experience is, right? So whatever damage it is that you've been done, or whatever it is that you've experienced that has been a negative experience for you, that negative experience is only negative because you have failed to turn that experience to a positive experience. How do you do that? You simply reframe it. You say, you know what? Instead of this being a bad thing or a bad situation for me, this actually worked to my benefit. Instead of, if I was to interpret my own personal situation, at one point in time, I was evicted from an apartment because I failed to pay rent. I failed to come up with the funds, based off of the working schedule that I had. I wasn't, hustling. I wasn't getting another job. I had all these excuses, right? So I got evicted, right, from the apartment that I was living in. I could perceive that as a negative thing or a negative aspect of my life or a negative landmark. That's fine. I'm not telling you not to have negatives in your life. However, it's a disrespect to yourself as a master of self, as a man of evolution or pursuing evolution and wanting to become the best version of yourself. It is a disrespect to yourself to not take the responsibility of changing and transmuting these past experiences in your past, right? And allowing them to play a greater role right now by you reframing them, by you redefining what this experience means to me. You can always change the meaning of anything in your life. Anything and everything you can change. But it's up to you to take on the responsibility. It's up to you to say, you know what, at this point in time, man, I'm actually going to change how this experience played out in my life. I'm going to change the way that I am living at this point in time, because I understand that I have the ability to change the meaning of this situation, or I have the ability to change the meaning of this circumstance that happened, or I have the ability to change what this means. You have the ability to change meaning. What is your role on this planet? What is my role on this planet? It is to best define my life, to define my life through the experiences that I'm having on a day-to-day basis, from a moment-to-moment basis, right? So if I'm defining this experience that I'm having, going to the model retreat, if you will, as a negative experience, then it's going to be a negative experience, and it's going to stay there until I take responsibility and I say, you know what? That experience actually was one of the best experiences that I could have had in my life. For me, every single breakup that I've had with females that I was in relationships with, I do the air quotes because, you know, those were relationships, right? That I thought I understood what a relationship was at that point in time, right? For me, it's completely different. I don't want a relationship at all because I'm very, very aware of the relationship that I'm building with myself first and foremost. But I'm getting, you know, sidetracked. But essentially, what I'm getting at is we all have a responsibility, right, to redefine your experiences on a consistent basis, right? So once again, every breakup, every negative aspect, let's say somebody died recently, let's say that you know, something negative happened, whatever your interpretation was of that, you have the ability to change your interpretation of that. And that in itself brings a healing that you cannot be undone, right? Because when you recognize, man, I can redefine this experience. Like I said, the last breakup that you had with a woman or a man, you know, whoever's watching, if that's defined as a negative experience, then you're stuck there and you will stay stuck there until you redefine that experience and allow it to feed your next interaction. This is huge, man, because like, you know, like if somebody were to get this concept, you would actually have the means to be able to heal yourself, because once again, it's all in a state of mind. Everything is in a state of mind. So it's up to you to best determine, okay, this is the way that I want to live. When you determine the way that you want to live, then you start living that way. And the way that you start living that way, the way to shift universe is the way to manifest, the way to do what you want to do and not look back, is to put your mind there. And when you put your mind there, you will live from that experience, right? So that's extremely powerful, man. I've been going in for 34 minutes or so, maybe 33. Took a break. So yeah, I want to open it up. You know, if there's any open dialogue and things of that nature, I mean, that's, you know, the heart of what it is that I wanted to contribute here today. If we don't have much to go off of, then what I'll do is we'll go ahead and, you know, finish up with a meditative moment. But I definitely want to take some time and tap in. You know, while I'm here in LA, in the LA area in California, it's been raining the last 2 days, so it's been very, very interesting to see how that has played out. However, it's been very, very man, it's been a beautiful experience being out here. Base 3, first of all, and then, you know, just being in LA. You know, it's been a long time since I've been out here and having an opportunity to tap in with my brothers. You know, Check the Star, Master Pyro, and you know, all the brothers that are here at Base 3, and you know, Trey Fuller from the Model Retreat. You know, all the models and things of that nature, man. So it's just just recognizing, you know, the value of this moment once again, and recognizing your ability at all times to constantly redefine and give meaning to this experience. Like, I know this is not an ordinary moment for me. You get what I'm saying? Because I, you know, for so long was dreaming about being on the road and doing a live stream, if you will, right? You know, I was literally dreaming about, you know, living the experience that I'm living on a day-to-day basis, right? Like, I mean, on a day-to-day basis, but as a regular part of my experience, now I'm around, you know, high-level people, right? I'm in high-level circles, if you will. I'm part of, you know, grand decisions that are being made on a very high level for organizations, for teams, for, you know, so on and so forth. There's so much that I'm able to be able to tap into. And that's because I'm constantly aware of how I'm defining my life. I'm constantly aware of how I'm giving meaning to this experience and that experience and so on and so forth, right? So that is a skill in itself, right? Is to recognize your responsibility. Your responsibility is simply defined as your ability to respond to life. You have an ability to respond to life, and how you respond to life is through the meanings in which you are interpreting your everyday experience, right? So if you are interpreting this live stream as something that's beneficial for you, it's actually one of the best things that you could do for your own personal life path, right? To tap in with another brother, to tap in with another man who's on the path, who's living on purpose on a day-to-day basis, right? And every single day working to build his character and working to build himself, and not only himself, but also others that are around him. then you're, gonna experience that because you're defining that experience that way. But let's say that you had the experience or you had the interpretation that this was a black man, speaking, and you had a problem with black men speaking on live and expressing themselves and being free to be themselves and talking about their personal life experience. And you can say, "Man, fuck you! I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you think you are," and so on and so forth. That would be your experience because why? Because that's what you gave a definition to, right? That's what you decided to direct your energy towards. You wanted to focus on the negative. And when you have an option to focus on the positive, well, I mean, come on, man. You take away your power or you give your power based off of the meaning that you're giving to your life in every single moment, right? So this moment is going to be different from the next moment that you choose to define your life this way. If you choose to say, man, this is a very positive experience that I'm having, or this is an experience that's worth having for me right now, negative or positive, right? Let's pretend like there was no negative and positive. If you just were conscious of the experiences that you're having from a moment to moment basis, you'd actually know that, man, from this moment to this next moment, I have an opportunity to mend these moments, not to see them as separate, but to see them working together. Because why? What does that do? That allows you to create an inner harmony. That allows you to create that frequency that you desire from the inside, right? That allows you to truly harness that good feeling and that good nurturing energy, right? That at the end of the day is not available for many people because they don't take responsibility. They don't take their ability to respond to life and define their life, which when you redefine what it is that you're experiencing on a consistent basis, that brings you healing, right? That brings you a level of awareness that's just not available to you if you're not constantly looking to respond to life from a moment to moment basis, right? So it's really, 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 really powerful to be aware of your ability to respond and to respond with the meanings that you're giving from moment to moment, right? So this moment is no different from the next in the sense of you have the ability, right, to define what this means, right? And when you define what this means, you can define what the next moment means. In the next moment, you start to pick up momentum that way. And you say, man, this was a great experience. This was a great experience. And this was a great experience. And that stacks on top of each other. And, somebody's in a very, very healthy state of mind, right? If you go from, feeling, negative and gloomy or whatever the case may be to now feeling extremely positive, extremely, rich with, experience and insight and so on and so forth and awareness, then at some point you're going to recognize, man, this is always in my control. It's always up to me how I define this experience moving from here to there and so on and so forth. That's your responsibility, right? It's your duty, right, on a day-to-day basis to constantly form that, right, and be conscious of that. So I'm gonna open it up. If y'all brothers have anything else, otherwise we'll go ahead and tap into medicine moment, and then we'll wrap up. Appreciate y'all being on, Brother Zay and Brother 2K, Tony Kudbiski. How do you say him, man? Cool. All right, so we're gonna do 5 minutes of a meditative moment, and that'll be it for today. Hopefully it was very valuable for everybody that was able to tap in. And I love this creation that we're doing at IMC TV. Anytime I get a chance to tap in with another brother's, live stream, I just see how valuable it is. Like if I was somebody else from outside of IMC Nation and I was able to tap into IMC TV, I would be extremely, extremely happy to have a plethora of different people, because that's not what was available to us when we first got started. Some of the originals that were around from the very beginning of the expansion of IMC Nation back in 2020, right? So now 2023, 3 years later, we're here co-creating on this platform. It's been beautiful, just to see the evolution of everything. And I'm really excited for what's to come. So without further ado, let's go ahead and tap in. It'll be about 4 minutes here. So we always start with closing your eyes. If you're in a place to close your eyes and center yourself. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, relaxing. Feeling the shift of awareness from your outside world to your inside world. Taking another deep breath in through your nose. Filling your lungs, holding at the top for 1 second, and then breathing out. Relaxing. Relaxing into your new image that you have on the inside. Taking another deep breath in through your nose. Breathing in all the positivity and breathing out, letting go of all the negativity. Feeling your body alive from the inside. And once again, take another deep breath in through your nose. The image getting clearer, breathing out. Seeing exactly what you want to see from yourself, your lifestyle, conversations that you have, the experiences that you have on a day-to-day basis, all the results of your own internal process. Taking another deep breath in. This time, hold it. And breathe out. Relaxing even deeper to that inner image. Taking a moment to appreciate yourself. We'll spend the next 2 minutes in peace before we close out. Waking up again to your external world. Slowly begin to wake up your body. And your awareness. And before you open your eyes, take moments to thank yourself for taking the time to level up today. Spend time with yourself from the inside out. As you open your eyes, reorient yourself to the outside world. As always, brothers, it's a pleasure to tap in with you and level up. Definitely feel the expansion of character every single time that I come on here and provide value, give insight from my world, my experiences, and sharing with you and then hearing back, feedback from you as always as well. So, it's another episode of the Master's Table. As always, y'all can always tap in with us Monday nights. We have a stream. Eventually, it's going to be a full stream live here on IMC TV for 6 p.m. Every Monday night. But outside of that, right now, it's just open for men, right? So, fellas are interested, hit the link in the bio or the description. My fault, not on IG. And yeah, man, tap in. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be in front of y'all, and like I said, to give the insight as well. So until next cycle, IMC Nation, y'all know what it is. Be the best. Fuck the rest. Knowledge yourself. Knowledge of wealth. So one and only. That's for myself.